Dr. Ish is looking at him like, dude, what you do? What are you doing? Hi guys, so welcome back to my channel. Thank you all so much for joining me this evening. I'm recording this on Thursday night, and I just watched, I think it's the 15th season of Marriage Boot Camp Hip Hop Edition, and I thought I would grab a drink and sit down and chat with you guys about this episode. And I think if you all like this, I'm going to add it in as a way to kind of break up some of the seriousness on my channel. I generally talk about true crime cases, and that is my first love, that is my passion. But I also want to bring you guys additional content that kind of shows me, just so you could get to know me, get to know some of the things that I like watching, some of the things that I, am interested in outside of true crime. So I decided that I'm going to include a series if you all like it. If you don't, I'll certainly not do it, because I want to do what you all want. I want to show or share what you all want to see. So if you all like it, I'm going to pick different TV shows or different series that I'm interested in. And if you all like them, we can kind of watch them and then come back here and talk about them and, just have a chat about them. And whether it's crazy, whether it's funny, whether it's serious, whether it's, no matter what it is, I just want to have the platform be where we can, have a little conversation about it. So tonight we're going to talk about the first episode of, I think it's season 15 of Marriage Boot Camp, and this is the hip hop edition. So on tonight's episode, this is just like, I'm pretty sure any other season. They do the introductions, you get to know the couples a little bit, talk about, they talk about some of their challenges and why they're actually on the show. All right, so we have on this season, we have Hazel and Devon. And of course, Hazel she says she's like 15, almost 15 plus years older than Devon. And Devon is, I think, 25 years old. So that's first couple. And right out the gate, you can clearly see that Devon is basically a child, in my opinion. He's 25. She says she's almost 15 years older than him. I'm not really sure. I feel like she may be a little bit older, but I'm 15, so that's like 40. So she's 40 years old and he's 25. And that's a big age gap, especially for men, I think. And I'm interested to know what you all think, because men tend to be already a little bit behind women when it comes to maturity. And it kind of shows a little bit in this episode, especially when he looked like a kid. If you watch it, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. There was one scene where they're doing this debate. This first episode it kind of outlines how the season's going to go. And all of the other cast members, including Hazel, and everybody's walking in, and they know the house is set up presidential style, meaning there's a blue carpet with the seal, like a presidential seal. They have the red, white, and blue flags everywhere and all this kind of stuff. But that's leading up to the fact that this episode, they did a little mini debate, or they're going to do a debate, basically. And they were talking about who they're going to be representing based on the challenges that they have in their relationship. So first, like I said, we have Hazel and Devon. They were the first ones to get to the house. It shows that they have issues. She doesn't feel like he's in the relationship for her. She thinks he's possibly a clout chaser. And I'm like, could be, because, he's 25. And he literally was acting like I felt like he was acting like a kid. Then after Hazel and Devon, we have the infamous Corrupt and his girlfriend Tony. Now, Corrupt is already right off the gate. Corrupt is going to be like the show is going to be centered around them, and probably more so, I feel like, well, we'll see. We'll wait until we get further in and give you my opinion. But Corrupt is crazy. Just number one, he's 46. I'm not sure how old his girlfriend Tony is, but they've only been together they've been dating for 3 years. And basically, he has an alcohol problem. It's evident in this first episode, and it's funny because of how he's acting and what he's doing and saying, but it's also sad because that's what's causing the most problems in their relationship, it seems. But I did do a quick little search on what, Corrupt's history or whatever, and there's reports out there that he is still married to his estranged wife, I guess you can call her. She goes by the name of Gail Gotti, but her real name is Javon Brown. And I think it's about 2 years ago, Corrupt and her separated, basically because Corrupt left her. These are according to articles, not sure if it's true or not. It's alleged that he left her while she was fighting terminal cancer, apparently. I don't know any other details. All I know is that he left her and basically told her she needed to go find a real job or find somebody else who could take care of her. I didn't dig further into it, but that just kind of let me know after I saw his behavior on this episode that he's selfish. He's just the most selfish person. I don't even see what Tony sees in him. He basically said on this episode that he only cares about himself. So it's almost like she knows right off rip she can either take it or leave it because he doesn't care about anybody but himself. I do want to add that Judge Lynn Toller is on this season, and she is my favorite. She's awesome, I think, and I just love it how she is no nonsense, and she kind of gives it to both the guys and the women. She's not, biased on either side, and she's just straightforward, and she has she's a good example, I think, of a healthy marriage, so to speak. I follow her on social media, and this group of people are lucky to have her involved in this process. So after Hazel and Devon and Corrupt and Tony, we now have Willie and Shonda, Willie Taylor and Shonda. So Willie and Shonda they've been married for 13 years. They've been together for 15 years. They got 3 children, but they got a serious cheating problem between the both of them. I don't understand. I don't know how it all started. Sounds like he did it, then Shonda did it to get back at him, and he's upset because she cheated with someone that he knew. So of course, men can't handle anything like that, and he's flipping out about it, and they are just going back and forth. She's ready to give up on the marriage. He says he doesn't want to give up. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. I'm interested to follow that couple. So apparently Shonda and Hazel had a little beef on social media, and they didn't know that, of course, when they all get to the house, they get to see who's going to be there for the first time. And they didn't realize they're going to be on the show together. And of course, it erupted a little bit into some foolishness because Hazel was posting something on social media about Black women bleaching their skin and not being able to pass, and said something to the effect that Shonda couldn't pass the paper bag test. I don't know. It was just foolishness, but they confronted each other on it, and it was kind of funny because, I don't know. It was just interesting. They semi-made up and moved on from it, but it was a little awkward. After those 3 couples, we then go to Tahiri and Vado. They're dating. They've been dating for 18 months. Tahiri and Vado have been dating for 18 months. They've been best friends, supposedly, for a very long time, but it seems like they just finally started to develop, get into this kind of relationship. And during the initial mock debate that they all were doing, each couple were videoed talking about their partner and telling, what things bothered them about their partner. And I'll get into it a little further along, but that part was pretty interesting for Tahiri and Vado. And then, of course, finally we have, I'm sure the reason why everybody is probably watching this show and wondering why she would even go on here, but we have Phaedra and Medina. And I don't know if this is a legit relationship because we know how Phaedra gets down, but I'm giving a side eye and wondering, why is she even on this show? She doesn't need to do it for money. I guess maybe they are in a really real life relationship. But I don't know. I don't understand why. I don't get it. I don't get why she's on this show. But anyways, Phaedra and Medina are dating. I don't know how long they've been dating. She doesn't really talk about that, but they do talk about the issues that they have in their relationship, like I said during the mock debate, or the beginning of the debate session. And according to Medina, Phaedra trust issues and a fear of intimacy with him or getting too close to him, probably because of her history with Apollo and all of that nonsense that went on. She admits to it, but like, I feel like she's being dismissive of it a little bit. Like, she's like saying she understands and she acknowledges it, but she's like kind of like, I don't know, it just seems a little off to me. That's why I said I don't know why they're on the show, and I'm wondering if it's real. Now, Medina did something in this episode that made me feel like this is probably why she doesn't want to take him seriously. And I'll get to that as we get a little further. So now we're going to talk about what each couple, what happened after they started the mock debate. So I'm laughing because it's just crazy. We're going to just jump right out the gate and do Corrupt and Tony first. So Corrupt is like, seriously, drinking this is day one, and he drank from the moment he walked in until I believe the moment they went and laid down that day. He was drinking, and Tony just is beside herself because she can't deal with it anymore. His drinking is causing a real issue. It sounds like he gets a little violent. I don't know. That's just my opinion. It may not be true. We'll see as we get further along. But her main issue is that when he's drinking, they argue all the time. He doesn't care about her. It's almost like his true self comes out when he's drinking. And sometimes, that's kind of known to be true. Like, that's kind of what happens. You let loose all of your guards and you are your real self usually. So maybe those are his true feelings. But he literally said on the show, on episode 1, that he cares about himself and only himself. Now, he was sloppy drunk, but those were his words. And that's kind of like the end of the episode. I mean, that's the end of their little test to me, because I'm thinking, well, why are you guys even there? What's she fighting for? And she asked the same question of herself too. So because they were corrupt, each couple were given a name or like a title that they were going to hold while they were in the house and while they went through these series of exercises. So Corrupt and Tony were called explosive energy because they fight literally like cats and dogs. They're always arguing. They're both very aggressive. He's loud and obnoxious because he's drunk, and she's aggressive, it seems like, just naturally, and she's defensive and always trying to defend herself against him verbally or whatever, because he's ridiculous. And he has a cheating problem too. She said that he was talking to some woman a while ago and then ended up reaching out to her again, and that just set her off because he of course said he wasn't going to do it again, and he did. So that's kind of where they left off. They go to their rooms, and because Corrupt and Tony are explosive energy, their room was like black with fire and just volcanoes and explosions and all that kind of crap. And it was really interesting. I like how they do this. So that's what they have to do. They have to stay in this room of explosive energy and work through it. So then let's talk about Willie and Shonda. So like I said, they have an issue with trust and just cheating. Willie cheated, Shonda cheated, and they're trying to get past it. Obviously that's a big thing to get over. Plus, Shonda made a comment about how Willie is kind of like dismissive or not considerate of her feelings, and he says rude things to her, calling her out of her name and all of this kind of stuff when they get into arguments. But she wants to make the relationship work. Obviously, she's invested 13 years into this, and they have children. So she wants to try to save her marriage, but she just doesn't want to continue on the way that they've been behaving. So Willie and Shonda go to their room, and their room consists of walls covered in their actual, what I believe are their actual their actual messages to their little side pieces and whatever have you that they had been cheating with. So The marriage boot camp posted all of these messages on all the walls in their room. So they got to look at this crap every single night, and they're there in this house for 2 weeks. So that's going to be crazy. Shonda was not happy about that, because she was like, I'm trying to get away from this, and here I am having to look at it every single time I come into this room. But their process is going to be interesting to me to see what happens. That will Shonda and Willie, and honestly Corrupt and Tony, just for the fact that they're funny, they're hilarious. Then we have, like I said, Phaedra and Medina. So the biggest issue for Medina is the fact that Phaedra is standoffish. She's disconnected, but she says she wants to be in this relationship. Phaedra says she has trust issues because of her past relationships with Apollo, but she's hinged on this whole idea, like, we know Phaedra, of perfection. She acts like everything's perfect, and she's always put together, no flaws, no nothing. And the therapist, Dr. Ish, and Judge Toller basically were trying to tell her that you can't be afraid to fall or make a mistake, and if you do, so what? You're already a boss, you got yourself together, so it'll just be an obstacle or something for the moment that you'll have to overcome, but you will overcome it. That was their little advice for them. So they go to their room, and poor Medina, the room is covered in pink, like a princess room, because she acts like she's some Southern Belle princess or whatever. But the room is covered in pink, but everything is broken. You got little tea sets all tossed up, broken. There's cracks all in the mirrors, cracks in the walls, cracks all over the place, because they're trying to represent the fact that she's broken, but she's trying to hide it under this whole idea of beauty and perfection. So that's them. And then we have Tahira and Vado. They go to they are the baggage. I can't remember the name of their little couple that they were given, but it's basically something having to do with baggage claim or whatever. So they go to their room, and it's basically like an airport terminal, because they both have all of this baggage. Vado said something really slick out of his mouth during his pre-taping, like talking about the issues. He basically said that Tahiri was like a groupie, and that she gives herself to everybody, so he doesn't really feel special, and he doesn't really take basically almost like he's not being open or connected with her, because he feels like she gives herself to everybody. He's basically insecure. He's not sure if she's serious about being in this relationship with him, and he probably feels like she's been with all these other people. Why does she want to be with him? Yada yada yada. She says that she thinks, kind of sounds like when she's talking, when Tahiri is talking, she feels like she's there just for him a little bit, even though she throws in these little comments like, oh, I have baggage, I know I have baggage, because her issue with him is that he's not connected with her, and he's not, she feels like she doesn't know who she's dating, which I think is crazy, because you guys were supposedly best friends, if I understand correctly. But she doesn't know who he is. And although I kind of can understand it a little bit, but I think she just means he's closed up. He doesn't talk enough. He doesn't share anything. And I think it's because he has these insecurities. So they go to their room, and it's an airport terminal. They have basically bags everywhere in a section called baggage claim. And in front of the baggage claim section, they have those airport chairs that are connected. It's so funny. It was cute. I thought it was very cute. Tahiri liked it, but it set Vado off. Like, it was kind of weird to me that just going into the room, it set him off. He wasn't happy. He didn't like it. She was laughing and making light of everything, but he was like, no, I can't do this. I can't stay in here like this. I can't be here. So he runs out to go tell somebody and runs into Dr. Ish. So Dr. Ish comes in to kind of talk to him about it and like find out what's his deal. But as Dr. Ish is talking to them about their relationship, guess who comes walking in their room laughing and being obnoxious because it's like an airport terminal? Medina. Now, at that moment, I was kind of like, this is why Phaedra don't she's not taking you seriously, because anybody who would have walked into that situation would have left because they were having a personal like conversation. He legit walked in, looking in their room, laughing while Dr. Ish is talking to them about their relationship issues. And he's walking around looking at all of the decorations in the room. And then he sits down like he's a part of their whole therapy session. So as he sits down, Dr. Ish is looking at him like, dude, what you do? What are you doing? So he asked him, like, did he need anything or something, like, get out. So then he realizes, oh, I shouldn't be here because they're really having a real conversation right now. And of course, Phaedra, you know, she's Miss Perfection. So when she saw it on the clip and they're doing their little talk session about it, she's embarrassed, I'm sure. And she's like, why are you even in there? And I don't blame her, because I'm thinking, what? Huh? Why? You didn't get the hint that they were having a real conversation? Whatever. And like his main issue is that Phaedra she has not had sex with him yet. And I don't know how long they've been dating, but apparently it's been a while and she just won't do it. And I understand why, her reasons why. I just think it's funny. Like that's your main, that's why you're on marriage boot camp, because she won't have sex with you. All right, so then who do we have? I think we've done everybody. Devon and Hazel are the Department of Injustice. I don't understand kind of why they gave them that name, but we'll see. They didn't really, I don't think they showed their room. They didn't show Devon and Hazel their room on tonight's episode. So maybe next week they'll have that. But I'm interested to see what that's going to be about. And then, let's see. So maybe they did do their room and I just don't remember. It probably wasn't not like memorable. I can't remember. If they did, you guys let me know down in the comments below if they showed Hazel and Devon's room. I just literally remember Corrupt and Tony and Phaedra and Medina and Willie and Shonda and Tahiri and Vado. And I just cannot remember if they showed Hazel and Devon's room. So if they did, let me know down in the comments below. Refresh my memory, guys, because I was like, I was so thrown by the way Corrupt was acting. Honestly, I was thrown by the way Shonda and Hazel, day one, they already got some sort of unspoken issues. It was an interesting episode. I can't wait for next week's episode. Like I said, I'm going to do this every week. I'll watch it. So yeah, guys, I think that's pretty much it for this episode. Judge Toller, I'm gonna call her Judge Toller on this show because that's what I know her by. She had to kind of get in a couple of the guys, like get on them, like their children or whatever, because they were like cut her off when she was talking. Corrupt had like a major meltdown just on the first episode, so I cannot wait to see how he behaves next week. That couple is definitely going to be the focus of this show, as well as Phaedra, just because of the fact of who she is. I think Phaedra and Medina will be popular on this season because of who she is and, you know, the baggage that she has. Corrupt, just because of who he is, obviously by name, but also because I think people are going to see him like in a different light, or maybe just I'm seeing him in a different light. I didn't know he had a drinking problem. He probably doesn't even think he has a drinking problem. Obviously, he knows he drinks a lot, but he don't think he has a problem. And I'm interested to find out where this comes from, the whole drinking issue. I'm sure they're going to tackle that as you get into more episodes. But tonight's episode was pretty interesting. And I can't wait to see what next week's episode is about. And if any of you have watched it, let me know down in the comments below. Let me know what you think of each of these couples. If you haven't watched it and you want to watch it and, you know, have this little girl talk session or whatever you want to call it, go ahead and check it out on WeTV. I'm pretty sure they're gonna replay this. I think it is even gonna be replayed on the same night, like tonight at like 11 o'clock. So it's probably playing now or whatever while I'm recording this, but definitely check it out. I know they do reruns of their episodes all week long until the next one. So we can chit chat about it and let me know down in the comments. I will respond to everybody's comments about this new series I'm doing, Marriage Boot Camp. I think it's really interesting. So everybody's comments gets feedback, and I really appreciate you guys commenting on my videos, on my true crime videos, and I hope you keep that same energy on these like series reviews, so to speak. I think it'll just be a good opportunity for me to show you who I am and the things that I like to watch, and hopefully we have some things in common. If not, maybe you guys can show or tell me something that you all watch that I could take a look at and we could talk about it. And this does not mean I'm getting rid of the true crime, because like I said, that's my passion. I will keep doing it. The goal is still the same. We got to break it up a little bit and throw in some, downtime stuff, something to, chill us out. We got too much going on as it is with the whole, Rona. So I think that's it, guys. I can't think of anything else on tonight's episode that was like, oh my gosh, besides the fact that Corrupt is crazy and he basically told the world that he loves his DI, and that's really all he cares about. Interesting. The whole purpose of the mock debate was to talk about why they were here. So that was just, I think, tonight's whole introduction to, to the season. And they were acting like it was a mock debate, and they really weren't debating against each other. They were just really sharing what each other felt, what they felt about each other. And of course, it caught them off guard because these recordings were pre-recorded, and I'm pretty sure they said things that they did not think would be aired on TV, nor did they think that they would be shared with their spouses, but they were. So that's what set everybody off. But yeah, guys, that's all I have for you tonight. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this type of content, as well as my, my true crimes content, please subscribe to this channel.